what is the number one thing you would give to someone maybe struggling to get their first client, maybe struggling to keep their first client? What is the number one advice you would give to them?
My number one piece of advice to that person, I would say that you're not.
What's up, guys? So let me introduce you to Cole Franklin, who is a beast. This guy has scaled his agency from the ground up, just like you maybe, and got it to what, past 10K a month now? Where are we at?
Past 10K a month now, man. We're at 12K, and it's a little bit ambitious, I think, to set the goal, but we're looking at 50K next. So got a way to go, but broke 10K, and the golden number that everybody goes for. So doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah, progressions, that's all that matters, man. Keep setting the bar high and keep aiming for it. That's good, man. Well, I'm going to be sharing with you Cole Franklin and his story because I really want to share his story. I mean, his journey is just so amazing, guys. Like, I really hope you get a lot of nuggets from it, practical stuff, things that are going to help your agency on the sales end, back end, whatever he shares. However, I just want to help you guys understand that it can happen for you, like it has happened for me and Cole. So, with that said, Cole, let's get straight into it. Go ahead and give us a quick introduction about yourself, your agency, if you want to share, and we'll go straight into it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Marcus, I appreciate it. You're a beast as well. And thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, quick introduction, man. I mean, pretty much, like probably most people was doing, a 9 to 5. And while I was working that, I saw all these people making money online and I was like, yeah, I could definitely do this. Always been really interested in marketing too. With that being said, the last 3 months at my 9 to 5 before I left it, started, my business on the side. And then, 3 months in, I was like, hey, got some money saved up. I'm going to take the leap and do this full time. And so that's kind of, why I decided to do that. But from Kansas City, Missouri, man, just a regular guy, nothing too crazy. And just, trying to not to be cliche, but, trying to build the dream and just make things happen. So yeah, just a little bit about myself.
That's awesome, man. And I appreciate you sharing that. So let me get straight into the question, man. Like, what is the number one thing you would give to someone maybe struggling to get their first client, maybe struggling to keep their first client? What is the number one advice you would give to them?
Yeah, man. So no, number one, it's tough to put one on it, but we preach it in agency lab and you do as well, but SACA, of course, so set appointments, close appointments. And likely that my number one piece of advice, and I would try and take this as advice, but to that person, I would say that you're not doing enough. Whether it's sending, more emails per day, cold emails per day, or sending, or making more cold calls or direct messages, whatever that outreach method is, I would say you're not doing enough. So do as much as you can. And when you do feel like you're doing enough, continue to do more.
Bam. Yeah, do it, do more. Just do more. I love it. So in terms of getting started and obviously let's just say you don't have a client, right? We all start without having a client. How would you go about having that sales call even without having a case study? Like what are your thoughts and what is something you can share about that?
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's a great question. So I mean, there's a couple different routes for the first sales call that could kind of go with that. One, and this might not be for everybody, but one thing you could do is, reach out to a family member or friend that that it, owns a business or, is in some type of position that you might be able to help out and become a power partner for them. So work for free, as tough as it might sound, get, that testimonial, but to, be transparent. I got my first client in December, so about 7 months ago, almost now. And, they didn't really ask me about a case study. And then same for the second client I signed on after I switched, niches. They didn't really ask about case studies or the work I did previously. It was all just kind of based on, the conviction I had that, hey, I know I can get this person results and make it happen. So, my best piece of advice is when somebody gets on that first sales call, just put together a good PowerPoint kind of going over like what your service entails, speak with conviction and genuinely, from the bottom of your heart. If you're really trying to help people out, they'll be able to sense that. And that'd probably be my piece of advice for that.
That part, I love it. That conviction comes from within that you can help them. That's a really good advice. And on top of that, I want to let everyone know, record your damn calls. I cannot say how many times I think I may have said it to you once, Cole. Record your calls. Record your calls, especially the first one. You're gonna enjoy looking back at it over the years. Now, I'm gonna switch this a little bit more to mindset because I feel like I can definitely ask you this. What is so far the biggest thing you had to overcome when it came to mindset? Like whether it was a sales rut, as most people call it, or was it like a client issue? What has been something that you faced and how'd you overcome it mindset wise?
Yeah, absolutely. So mindset wise, No, I think there was probably two major pieces for me. The first one I would say is, just shifting your mindset. It's possible. And, of course, like once you actually get your first client, you definitely feel that 100%. But, the way that I look at it, and a good way to shift kind of your mindset is that there's thousands of people across the world that are running, marketing businesses and things very similar to what, the person watching this might be doing. And, if they can do it, truly you can do it. And if you have the interest and you're looking into something like this, then, try and shift your mindset around it that, hey, this is possible. The second piece of mindset I'd say is getting momentum and keeping momentum. So
Mm.
personally, and I had signed a few clients at that point. I had a ton of momentum and then I kind of slowed down. And it took me, probably 3 weeks to get back into that full swing of things. And it was so rough getting back into it. And I just realized I was like, okay, what was I doing before when I had all that, not to keep overusing the word, but when I had all that momentum, what was I doing before? And so I just started to do all those things again. And, that momentum came with everything. So get into a daily habit of like what you're doing and just keep at it. And, everything will start to snowball on top of each other.
That's awesome. Yeah, those terms, momentum, snowball, the infamous one in Agency Lab, popcorn effect, once the popcorn starts popping, right? Or, imangaji, when he says when it rains it pours, which I love. I love that one too. When it rains it pours, because I'm from Seattle. Anyways, I'm gonna switch it up. You want to ask me something that we can talk about?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So I guess let me throw back the same question at you. Like if you had advice for either myself or anybody else on mindset, like what would it be, or what's been the biggest shift in your mindset that's helped you like get to where you're at today?
Yeah, that's a great question again. Touche for me asking that. It has to definitely be something I learned from Jared Curry, right? You know Jared Curry, of course. It's fail fast. I learned it from Jared Curry, who runs like a 300K a month real estate agency with Matt Shields. And the number one thing I learned was to fail fast. And along the way, you're going to pick up a lot of experience, a lot of skill, and you're not going to get the actual answer until you actually attempt it, right? That's why the famous quote from Michael Jordan is, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, or he's missed 9,000 shots, but that's what it took to be successful. And along with failing fast, I really want everyone to remember that failing equals feedback, right? I may have preached this to you once, Cole, but the business is speaking to you in a numbers language. And number one, again, make sure you're keeping track of your numbers, right? We were talking about that earlier, making sure you understand what the business needs. It's giving you feedback, right? If you're experiencing in your mind failure or you didn't hit your goal, it's because the business is speaking to you and telling you, hey, I need more of this. I need more messages. I need a better offer, right? Whatever it is. So that's what my mindset is like, how can I fail fast? What did I learn? Or what is the business telling me right now?
Absolutely, man. We're like the MJs of Agency Lab in a way.
Mm, mm.
We're on the come up. We're first year in the league. But anyways, no, man, I think that's a great answer. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I think everything you said there is key. And if you're watching it, watch that back again, man. And I definitely will too. But so second question for you real quick. What if you were to give somebody, let's say, two pieces of advice, what
Mm.
would you give them to let's say scale to 10K a month? And then let's add on a third piece of advice for scaling to 30K a month.
Okay. Outside of the mindset one, because that definitely would have been my first one. When it comes to scaling to 10K a month, it's all about focus. It's all about focus and taking massive, massive action. Because when you're at 10K, like Cole is 12K a month, and you have already clients, you have results, I wouldn't say easier, but you have a lot more data points to feel more confident going into your sales, into your business, right? Because you have a business now. And it's easier for you to scale from 10K to 20K and therefore, and so on, right? But from 0 to 10K a month, you got to have a lot of conviction in yourself. And the way you do that is by having a lot of taking massive action, right? And setting appointments and closing appointments, literally having belief that you are the guy or you are the gal that can help this dentistry, this med spa, this gym owner get more leads through their door, get more clients through their door, get more patients into their seats, right? And it all stems from confidence. But again, confidence comes from all the data points you make in your actions as a person, right? It's very similar to fitness, right? people are more comfortable to go under a deadlift bar or under a bench or squat rack because, they've worked out so much and they've done it so many times, right? Same thing in business. You just got to get started and you just got to take action. I know there's so many videos like this on YouTube where people watch. I literally was talking to a 72-year-old earlier today, and it was like, I watch 10 hours a day of videos on Joe Kaplan and Iman. I was like, and here's a funny part. He says, where do I start? I'm like, you're telling me you've been watching videos for what, the last 2 weeks? He said, yeah. I said, so basically you've been watching 140 hours of videos on how to build an agency, and you're still asking me what niche should I pick? My point is, take massive action. Just take massive action and get started. You will find your answer when you get started. So that's kind of like multiple different advices tied together, but it's under one theme that you got to get started, and you can only build the confidence to get to 10K a month and land clients once you have taken action. Now, once you're at 10, 12K a month, like you, Cole, so if I was talking to you, I would think about, how can I maybe double down on what's working for me? How can I add more? What's going to instill more appointments for me? Or the other thing you can talk about in your business is, where am I becoming the biggest bottleneck, right? Because your number one thing, Cole, is sales or appointment setting right now. So maybe it's fulfillment, right? And maybe you have what, 5, 6 clients, and it's taking up a lot of your time, not just time, but energy and focus, right? Maybe it's time to get a media buyer. Maybe it's time, if you really don't enjoy the check-in calls, maybe it's time to get a client success manager or a media buyer. And with that, it's now time to think about how to delegate to spend more time on getting calls, right? So that's my biggest thing, is like leveraging your time for the highest ROI.
Absolutely, man. No, I completely agree. Especially on the part of, for kind of like 10K a month and moving forward, like, where are you going? What's the goal? Hiring people on is definitely key. Maybe you can relate to this, but of course, I know you got a pretty solid team of people that you work with. But I know for myself, like, sometimes I'm going through certain tasks throughout the day and it's very time consuming. And I'm like, man, if I could just hire somebody on to do this, it would help out a ton, take it off my plate, and I can focus on, like, move the needle type of task. And I think that for those that are above 10K a month, then doesn't mean a whole lot coming from me, being that I'm still at 10K, but hiring on those people that can, you can delegate tasks to, is definitely key. And I like the first part that you said, where you're like, man, it's focus and it's also massive action. I think it's 100% that, staying focused on what you're doing and just having a ton of action to what, you're trying to achieve. You can't just watch videos all day. Although I wish I could,
It's like
but yeah,
Netflix at that point, man.
exactly, man. New season's coming out. I don't really watch TV, but yeah, no, I completely agree, man.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Cole, man. Anything else you want to share before we sign off here? This has been wonderful.
Nothing else, man. The only thing I would say is, guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to Marques. And secondly, if you are running an agency, reach out to him. He is a master at getting appointments through DMs. I got to plug him
Yeah.
a little bit. Been working with him directly, and it's next level. So, yeah, that's the last thing there. And then aside from that, Marques, thanks for having me on, brother. I appreciate it, and look forward to, maybe having one of my own, and bringing you on as well.
Likewise, I would be appreciative if you brought me on, and it's always been a pleasure talking to you, Cole. And you're always giving off good vibes, and that's keep being you, Cole. The world needs it. All right, man. Thanks. Peace, guys.
Gotcha, brother. Peace.